park your van and go to the shelter. Where's the shelter? The bathrooms. They had people directing others to the bathroom. And that's where we sat and waited. The walls caved in and they got pinned to the ground. It's been difficult, and it's probably not going to get easier, I think, soon.
That man made it out of the disaster zone in Edwardsville. Tonight, he tells his story. And we're learning just how close he was to other Amazon workers who are not as fortunate. It has been nearly 3 days since the tornado outbreak. Mourning, pain, and assessment continue.
And now investigations are beginning into the collapse there at the Amazon site.
And News 4's own investigating is ongoing. News 4 investigator Susan Elcori is in Edwardsville tonight. Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton is gathering new data on the outbreak. But our coverage begins with Gabriela Vidal at SLU Hospital, where she just finished speaking to that survivor. Gabby?
Yeah, Corey, I spoke with 39-year-old Craig Yost, the man you just heard at the beginning there, and he's still here at SLU Hospital tonight. He tells me he was a delivery driver working at Amazon. He was actually returning from a delivery route when he got to the warehouse around 8:15, and that's when he was redirected to go to that south bathroom of the facility to take shelter. And then all of a sudden, the walls started collapsing, and this is what he said about that terrifying moment.
Yeah, I was pinned down on my left hip with my right hip and my right shoulder holding a chunk of concrete. On top of my left knee was a door from the bathroom stall, and my head was on that with my left arm wrapped around my head, and I could just move my right hand and my foot. And I was lucky enough that one of the guys who didn't get knocked out or pinned against the floor was alert enough to hear me. And he's the one who called EMS and rescue and directed them to come find me.
Now, Craig says he was pulled out of the wreckage and airlifted to SLU Hospital after midnight, but even he says it's still a little fuzzy, the timeline of that, because it was just a lot of craziness happening in that moment. Now, today was the first day he was able to get out of his bed since being hospitalized, but is still unable to walk on his own. Now, he's expected to make a full recovery as of now, but says he has months of rehab still ahead of him. Tonight, he and his family are counting their blessings, knowing he's alive, but says his heart goes out to the families who can't say the same.
I was as close to each of them as we are to each other in here. The room that we're in is the size of the room we were all in. And so when I looked at my situation, I immediately knew that it wasn't good. And so when I heard Joe, I knew that was my only chance, and thank God he did what he did, because I wouldn't be here otherwise.
Now, Craig tells me that he doesn't know when he'll be able to return back to work, and while his employer is covering the costs of his hospital stay here at SLU Hospital, he says it's unclear when he'll be able to start working again and, being able to make that income for his family. So there is a GoFundMe that's been set up in his honor by one of his friends, and we'll have a link to that GoFundMe on the KMOV News app and on our website.
The physical recovery and the emotional recovery. Gabby, thank you.